All right, thanks for tuning in once again. It's Ishmael Sistrunk from the St. Louis American and STLamerican.com. Here with Palmer Alexander III, our Rams Roundup columnist, and we're here to do the Rams preview. This week coming up, we got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Palmer. This is a team that's 6-8, pretty similar to the Rams. They've lost 4 in a row, though. You think the Rams will be able to pull it out coming off of this, pretty devastating loss against the Minnesota Vikings? Will they be able to rebound? Or do you think they're just kind of going to, ball up in a fetal position like you said Sam Bradford does and take another bad loss?
Well, I think that I would hope that the coaching staff, and Jeff Fisher did take the blame for that miscue. When Peterson broke loose, and Doug Martin's another dynamic running back. He was somebody I was pretty upset on draft day when the Rams wasn't able to draft him. Just phenomenal running back out of Boise State, and he is pretty much everything that they have. Josh Freeman is an adequate quarterback. But he's the type of guy that you put a lot of pressure on. And if you put a lot of pressure on him, he's going to make a lot of mistakes. The Rams have went up against a lot of quarterbacks who wasn't, quote-unquote, top-tier quarterbacks, your elite quarterbacks, and they've been fortunate in that area. And, again, I expect them to harass Josh Freeman and cause some turnovers.
Now, what happened with Josh Freeman? I know it isn't directly related to the game, but a few years ago he had a breakout year, kind of similar to Sam Bradford, but now he's kind of leveled off where he's really just another guy.
You know what? Josh Freeman has always been another guy. I mean, when he was at Kansas State, to me, there was just nothing spectacular about him. Of course, he has the size. His arm is so-so. He doesn't really strike me as that prototypical leader from the quarterback position. So I'm not surprised. I mean, to me, Josh Freeman just wasn't never that good to me. And I figured that he would make it to the NFL, but starting, I was really surprised. But I'm surprised he's still starting today.
Okay. So coming into this game, like I said, both teams are coming off pretty bad losses. The Rams 36-22. Doesn't sound too bad on paper, but Adrian Peterson just ran through them. The Buccaneers lost 41-0 to the New Orleans Saints, so they have to be battered and bruised coming into this game. Will the Rams be able to exploit that, or is this just basically going to be a pillow fight between the two teams?
That's a good way of putting it. Now, in this situation, you look at matchups, and when the Rams played against the Vikings had one of the best running backs in the league, worst passing offense. In this game, the Buccaneers, they got the worst pass defense. Okay, now this is the game where you expect Schottenheimer to turn Bradford loose and open up the spread and throw the ball all over the field. You won't have no problems with that because Tampa is one of the worst in pass defense. However, they're first in rush defense. And so that means that if the Rams intend on running that football, they going to have to put their quote-unquote big boy pads on. And if they're able to do that and to get a lead and match that clock, force Josh Freeman to throw, they'll have some success and they'll be able to get some redemption from the loss last week to the Minnesota Vikings.
Now, when you talk about the Buccaneers defense, it being the number one rushing defense, is that because their front four, their linebackers are they that good, or is it because their pass defense sucks so bad just throws the ball against them and doesn't have to run?
That's a good way of looking at it. If you think about it, Tampa's always been known for having a great defense. It's almost embedded into who the Buccaneers have been since Tony Dungy has left, almost like with Baltimore. It seems like Baltimore's always the same on defense, nasty and physical. And I think that's always been a trademark of the Buccaneers. So the front four is always decent, led by our hometown St. Louis and Adrian Claiborne, who had a great career in Iowa. I think that he's a catalyst for that front four. So obviously you want to stay away from him as much as possible. And if the Rams are able to do that, again, there's no reason why they shouldn't be able to win that game. They shouldn't, because you're going against a rookie coach. Jeff Fisher has a lot of experience, and if he's learned anything, especially from the loss to the Vikings and then some of the other heartbreaking losses, if you keep it simple, Ishmael, there's no reason why the Rams cannot win.
Yeah, and I think for me, this is one of those toss-up games. I don't know. Like, I'm not too excited about either team. I think either team can win. I think this is one of those games where both coaches are saying, "Hey, this is a game that we should have." You know,
Yeah.
and really, it's true. The Rams are talented enough where they should be able to win this game. But going on the road, coming off of a tough loss, I don't know if mentally, you know, they're out of the playoff picture with that loss to the Vikings. So I don't know how they're going to rebound from that. Are they still going to be motivated, knowing that they really don't have anything to go for except for pride?
Well, I think Jeff Fisher's going to find a way to motivate them, and the one way you can motivate them, and they can at least go into the offseason with their head high, is finish with a winning record. They can beat Tampa. I don't know about Seattle. But I definitely feel like they can be able to go into Tampa and be able to at least salvage a victory. Again, when you look at Tampa Bay's defense and their ranking, guys like Isaiah Peed and Brian Quick should be getting the ball a little bit more. I expect to see those guys on the field. Chris Givens should be able to make some things happen. He's been quiet the last 3 or 4 games. You got Danny Amendola is back. So you expect those guys to have big games, you know, and you expect to see Bradford to have a 300-plus yard game. He's supposed to against a defense that's that poor against the pass. So, again, that's what I'm anticipating. Now, that doesn't mean I'm picking them, but that's what I'm anticipating.
Well, who are you picking? I heard you say the Rams should be able to win this game, but will they win this game?
No, they're not going to win the game. They're not going to win. They're not going to.
And why not?
Because I can't trust the coaching staff. I don't trust them to just keep it simple and you know, don't try to get too cute. Don't be trying to, you know, outsmart the opponent that much. I mean, just keep it simple. If they keep it simple, they win. And it just seemed like that's a simple formula, man. Every game they won because they stuck to a certain, you know, to the same core principles that's helped them win. And every time they get away from them, they lose. It's like common sense. It's common sense. If the light is green, you go. If it's red, you stop.
So you don't see it happening. You think they're going to lose. I'll be the contrarian. I'll go ahead and take the Rams for the win. I don't really like picking them on the road that often. But like I said, lately they have turned their trend around. They've been able to get a couple on the road. And there's just really nothing. Kind of like with the Bills, even though we came from behind to win that one, there's nothing about Tampa Bay that scares them. There's nothing at all.
Right. And see, I agree with you on that. I think that when you look at them going on the road to Tampa, I think that there's just a chance that they may play down to them and they may not have any life. It just seems like it's like one play totally demoralized the Rams when they lost to the Vikings. And remember, it was a 7-point game, but that touchdown felt like 4 touchdowns. And from a mental standpoint, we're going to find out. If anything, we'll find out how mentally tough the Rams are if they can go into Tampa and win. I don't know. I really don't think they can be able to do it.
Yeah, and like I said, it's really a toss-up game. It's definitely not, okay, this is an easy Rams victory, nor is it an easy Rams loss. But I think when you coming off a 41-0 defeat, I mean, that has to demoralize you. That has to really send you in the dumps. And so it's possible that the Tampa coach will be able to motivate them and use that, you know, and say, hey, we got to get it together. But I think when you lose 41-0 and that pretty much knocks you out of playoff contention as well, I don't see them having anything else to play for. And with the Rams, even though they've been inconsistent, you know, they do have Jeff Fisher. You know, he's a good motivator. You know, they're going to play hard-nosed football. So I think they'll be able to bounce back. They'll be a little more resilient than Tampa Bay, who, again, a 4-game losing streak punctuated with a 41-0 defeat. I know if I lost 41-0, I'd want to quit. I'd go home. You know, I think those guys are going to be playing for paychecks, and that's about it. And the Rams have more playmakers, even though they're inconsistent. They have more playmakers on the field.
Yeah, and they do. And the other thing is that I was thinking about while you was talking was that if you think about since the bye week, the Rams have played better on the road and they play bad at home. It's kind of strange. Like I said, who knows? They may just. I think they're learning how to play on the road. I think that's one of those things. Hell, I mean, you look at their schedule. They had some tough road games, and the game against New England was a road game to me. No matter how you want to shape it up, but I think that's one thing. I think they may find some comfort being away from home. You know, maybe that might be able to get them over the top. I don't know, but it's just kind of strange though. Since the bye week, they've played so much better on the road.
Yeah, and that's probably because they're away from Palmer. Every time they lose, I mean, this guy just hammers and punches him in the gut. You know, Craig done took Craig Dahl's confidence. You done beat up the coaches. You done beat up everybody. Like, as soon as we get away from Palmer, we gonna play good. So when we get back in town, he won't be waiting at the airport harassing us with those signs.
Yeah, hey, man, you know, they know it's tough love. You know, you can't. There are no more attaboy.
Pick the Rams. You pick the Bucks. So make sure you tune in Sunday and find out who wins. And
you get to gloat.
Exactly. We'll gloat. Either I'll gloat or I'll eat crow. Like I did earlier in the week, you know, when we did the pregame show, I'll eat crow. Adrian Peterson tore us up, and I ate that crow. And I'll gladly do the same if the Rams disappoint. But I think they'll be able to pull out a victory.
Well, that's fine because I think that I'm trying to use some reverse psychology. I'm trying to use because I'm picking them to lose, but if they win, that's great. So I don't, you know, I'm not gonna mind you gloating. I'm not gonna mind. I mean, that's why I've been wearing this hat, and I think I've been jinxing the Rams wearing St. Louis hats because I don't like wearing St. Louis hats during certain times of the year because it jinxed the home team. They do.
But you still wear it.
I know. I know.
So he's the reason that the Rams have been losing. I'm going to post Tom Alexander's address for any Rams fans that want to go and tell what they think about him and his hijinks hat. We're going to get out of here. We thank you for tuning in again. As always, be sure to subscribe if you're watching us on YouTube. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Google+, Twitter. Anywhere there's news, there's St. Louis American. Palmer, where can people find you?
Talk Sports with Control Chaos. Follow me in St. Louis American. Listen to me on WGNU on James Ingram Show this Sunday at 4 o'clock. And then also be on January the 6th doing the year in review for the St. Louis Rams. So we're getting it.
All right. Thanks for tuning in again. And as always, stlamerican.com. For your news, for your sports, for your entertainment. That's what we're here for. Thanks for tuning in. Peace.